Awesome. Let's make sure everything goes live. Cool. Oh, I'll show you this too. I got the Return to Tomoan Can by Harold Johnson. I got that. I ordered it. I got this epic. I got a certificate of authenticity, number 129, out of 200 of the edition of originals. So yeah, I'll show that. I'll show that tonight too. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see if anyone's on for sound tests. We are a couple minutes early, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Getting things rolling along. Sending out a bunch of lives. Hey, 491 Phantom, what's up? Can you hear us? Sound check, sound check. Sound check.
Yeah, hopefully they can hear us.
Because you know me, I always forget something. I was really impressed with my friends. At least two of them have already framed Kafir's map gift from Thursday night.
Oh.
Yeah, that was nice to see. Yeah. Hey, apparently, good to see you. And I go, oh, Mike. What's going on, Mike Disney? Rando. Good to see everyone. And then I hopped on a little early, no biggie. Hey, Naz, Sparky. I throw out, yep. Hope you guys don't mind. I always throw out their reminders. It seem to get people to pop on, which is great. And
yeah, those sketches look awesome. Yeah.
Have some nice. We're gonna hopefully get some a really cool discussion tonight where we can help out some people on. Hey, random hero, like it. Let me switch this. I bet you I can get that done right now, Enoch. Let me see. I got about 20 seconds here where I'm not doing anything. whole 20 seconds. Community rules manager. Ed. Enoch. Should be reactivated. Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude! Holy schmolies, get 5,000 cheer? Holy jeez.
Wow.
That is crazy and unbelievable. Thank you. Yeah, alright, so alright, wow. So I will note that down for Thursday night. 5 specials for the DM and 5 for me. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough adventure too. 2-weeker coming up. As it'll work us right into Greyhawk Con. That's awesome. Thank you. Close to hype. Close to hype. Only 13 people on. That's amazing. Let's go to Portrait Works next. Yep, 100 bits from someone besides you or Tiborius will pop it to a level 3. If we clear a level 3, I'll double the giveaways. How's that sound? Because I got a $25 frog guide now, and then I'll add in two classic D&D reprints. We throw over level 3. So, but if not, no biggie. I appreciate the heads up there, kid, on that. That's really cool of you. Yeah, how'd you know that, David? That's exactly where I'm going to be. In that area of the dragons, yeah. Plus with other articles that will enhance what's, yeah. You got it. You're dead on, man. Oh, I guess from the posts. Let's see what we got here. Hit a button, hit a button, hit a button.
Trollord game.
Oh, Wayne.
Join the fray.
Boom.
Wow.
Well, that did it. Nice. Oh, yeah. So we got our second giveaway part there. I got some. I'll get some good options out for everyone too. Patrick sent some good stuff here, so got some really nice options. Lots of classics. Oh, Troy! Wow! Holy schmolies! Crazy. We'll bring the entry screen on now. Well, thank you. It's all very kind of you all. Wow. You ever mysterious Tim is being mysterious? He may be on, he may not be, but it's out. I mean, we got this covered. Yes, it is. It's like it's an itch you gotta scratch there, Troy. I understand that. So, chaotic veto sort of follow too. So I will try and see if I can activate all these when I come on. I should be able to. You like the nice autumn background scene in that, Anna, with the leaves blowing in the window?
Oh, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
That is great.
Dragon Magazine articles tonight. Put that up first. We're gonna come on. We'll come on real early tonight. How's that sound? I don't know if the thing's gonna be activated. Good evening. There you go. Let me get all these going. Let me see which ones work and which ones don't. Where are we at, Claire? All right, so we're on Troy. So I got to reactivate Damn Weirdos, Mike Disney's, Gets, other one, Chaotic Veto. There, I activated them. We'll see if it works there. Yeah, I'm almost there. It's like the coughing and the stuff coming out of my body, Michael, never ends. But yeah, you know, it's coming along. So thank you for saying that. So with me tonight, Anna Meyer and we're gonna have a nice gabbin tonight. So how are you doing tonight, Anna?
Good. Yeah.
Good. Good is a good sign. Same here.
Yep.
I will be hitting the Ludens a little bit because I'm out of the halls, so I got these Luden cherries left. So
yeah, I didn't find much for this this gabbin, but I found one little gem that was kind of really cool.
That's excellent. That's all. That's all we need is one gem.
And
so
I found it when I was reading. I need to advertise for because it's such a good one. I was reading Playing at the World. Oh, hang on a second. Playing at the World by it doesn't stay, but anyway, it's John Peterson Playing at the World. So
what year's that from?
That one is probably from early 2008 or somewhere around that, 2010 or somewhere, about 10 years old, I think. I've had it sitting 10 years and I haven't read it through until I'm on the last bit here now. So yeah, it is kind of it's really an academic take at the history of D&D and role-playing games. Goes back hundreds of years back into modern times. So it's,
cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's the ancient prehistory of D&D more than slaying the dragon was kind of. Then D&D was TSR was already established. This is how they even got to that point, so to speak. So it starts very early. So,
all right, for the DM to hydrate. Here's my water.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I have it here.
There you go, Troy. Trying to. All right. So before we get anywhere tonight, let's get an update here, which is a good update. I sent everyone out a new a thing. If you're DM, start contacting your players. That was this news update here. Okay, so in 2 weeks, please contact your, it's what to do. Get that out, get that going for Virtual GrowCon. We are in really good shape. A lot of things are closing out, which is great. There's still, and by the way, thank you for that level 5 hype trade before we even started. Wow. There's still a couple events that need some love, and I know it may be tough at this point. Casey's tournaments, which, let's see, there's 3 open seats on this one and 3 open seats in both. So he's got 2 people in each, and then the 2 Zeef games. And maybe it's because they're 3.5, but everything else is in pretty good shape. I'm really impressed with the community. Thank you for such great a great amount of signups. This is the highest % we've ever had. So yeah, the halls help my soreness. I'm past the soreness now. I'm just like, it's just taking longer than I thought. I guess it's just like I want to get this over with and done. You can hear it in my voice probably. So next week, let me see if the shout out works. Next week's Gabbin, I've invited, just like we do, we have a Virtual GrowCon 3 Prelude show. I've invited every single DM that's on a highlighted stream, or that's like Greyhawk Reborn. I've invited Chuck and Steven from Troller Games. And there'll be people moving in and out all night, which we've done every year. They'll talk a little bit about their stream, what's going on, and we'll try and get a little excitement going, have some good giveaways and all. And that'll be next Sunday, because next Sunday is the week before it. So, yep. Yeah. Well, Michael, I understand that, man. For me, I really got to get. I traveled for work one day last week. I got to travel these 2 this week. So, but all right. So that's what's going on for Virtual Greyhawk Con. So tonight's topic, Greyhawk campaign development. We've done a lot of stuff on, if you're a DM, like where to go, what to do, just some ideas. Where do you go? What do you do for Greyhawk if you want to go back to the beginning? I figured I'd go back as far to the beginning as I could. How comes Rob? Phantom, good to see you, man.
Hello.
And Rob's got 2 highlighted streams. One's sold out. His Friday night game is sold out, but his Sunday morning game still has a couple open slots. And that's a 7 a.m. game, but that's a highlighted. They're both highlighted streams. So, hey, Mystical, that may be something you want to get into. Yep, thanks, Phantom. There's still some games with a couple seats, but I think they're playable at this point, which is really good. It's good to hear that people are really we're getting there, and I just really appreciate the support. So, this is Darlene's cover from Dragon 37. This is like this was a big deal when we had Darlene on, Anna. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, This is where it kind of started. This is like the first artwork she did.
I think so. It was early on.
Yeah. Really early, Dragon 37.
Yeah.
So we come to this, and I may highlight some things. We're going to start here at 37. This is 37, 38, and 39 were the ones that were in Best of Dragon Volume 2. And look, even have an Ed Greenwood article in here, from the City of Brass to Dead Orc Pass. Ed Greenwood. I mean, Ed's doing stuff this early on. You got Schick, Moldvay. This is one we'll get to. Arthur Collins, who's Snowlock, actually. A lot of great article writers in here. Leonard Lakofka, Lehman's Tiny Hut. This one's hysterical, by the way. I'm going to show that to you. Yeah, let's hope, Rob, we can get that filled on Sunday, because that'd be great. You, to Anna, to Guild Superior, to the Ask the Expert show would be fantastic. So we're gonna go to this page from the Sorcerer's Scroll, page 10. I'm gonna read some of this. This is Ed's article here. The Theory and Use of Gates. Wow, he actually quotes Michael Moorcock as well. Here's another great thing in here. The Gem Dragons appear in this article.
Oh,
they're
that
Tim's
early.
favorites. Yep.
Yeah.
This is where they first appear.
It's great art.
That's Arthur Collins. Yeah. A great article. We still use these to this day, the Gem Dragons, which is a really cool. Hey, Amy. But
hello, Amy.
Here we go. Here is the article. Let's see if I blow this up a little bit.
Which dragon was this?
37.
37.
This is 37. So something funny happened today. I don't know if any of you saw it. I was on Facebook. I had a post, and it was Old School TSR Gamers, and I'm gonna read this. Let me go to this real quick. By Todd Olick. Todd goes, I was 16 when I started doing art for TSR. I was at Gen Con when it was held at the UW Parkside, and Tim Cass saw me drawing my sketchbook and told me to start sending drawings into the Dragon magazine. Mostly it was black and white ink drawings. Imagine my surprise when I saw the color painting I'd sent to Dragon as a full page in the mag. And so someone colorizes this in the future, they reuse this. This is Todd Olick's artwork, which I found really cool. So good for him. And he thanked me for posting this in the post. So yep, with the little wormy guy here, little wormy imp, and him sitting there, pretty neat. I love those dragons. So this is the beginning that I can figure out of Greyhawk, the shape of the world. Well, let's talk about this. when you read this, the release of the World of Greyhawk will be have an accomplished fact. So we're talking in when's this volume? Is this 80? I thought this one may have been 79, and it wasn't out yet.
37. Should say in the first page.
May of 80. So it just has come
Okay.
out. May of 1980. Just has come out. So the map of Greyhawk campaign came first many years ago. The information came from a few original notes, many ideas, and the activity of the players. Just as the map was drawn from many earlier campaign maps I'd done for one game or another, okay? So too were the states and features of the world, drawn from many an earlier creation. So he's kind of around about talking about the stuff that we already know. Schick had his part of his map added. Hammock had his part of his map added. They added in a lot of Blackmore right into this. So he's kind of talking about that, but roundabout. He's not coming out exactly and saying where everything comes from. The World of Greyhawk reflects the results of much early gaming and endless hours of intense play, yet is incomplete in many respects. Oh, so he admits, that's pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. He admits it's incomplete. So it says the Gazetteer is basically a survey of the states and geographical features. Some details were omitted so as to allow development by individual DMs, some because they are still unknown, and a few because they will be revealed elsewhere as the need arises.
Oh,
okay. Well,
this is so cool. How can I miss this article? This is kind of the backstory of how the Greyhawk box sets can be, and I read through and I missed it. It's like, and it even says Greyhawk in the title, and this is
gross
but that's okay. Negligence and from
it's no problem. I try to do.
It's just awesome.
Yeah. So Steve Carpenter of Minifigs, which is Miniature Figures Limited Minifigs, is currently designing a set of miniatures rules for warfare on the World of Greyhawk. All right, so he's already trying to do chainmail battle system back then with minifigs. Mm-hmm. These rules will be set forth the orders of battle. And I'm saying this because I'm trying to explain why they're putting armies in all these articles coming up. All right, one of the reasons I think that hey, long shot, is because of this idea. Mm-hmm. And to add information pertaining to the world. At the same time, miniature figurines of the various troops are being assembled so that details of various units look like it'll be known. Say the Overking's Guards are the Knights of the Heart. Cool. In addition to having adventures, campaign...
So the Overking's Guards is the Knight of the Heart. That's interesting because that kind of spread out to Furundi afterwards. So they added more detail in when they finally got...
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. In addition to having adventures, campaign participants will soon be able to fight major battles which will affect the course of things. He's not even talking RP at this point. Did you notice that?
Exactly. He's very wargaming.
It's a very wargaming feel to it. So one of our mods, Nick's disc 64674 for me, please. Because I'm already famous. Just kidding. The figure line could eventually be in the hundreds of sets with possibly 1,000 different figures. So Gary's thinking grandiose here. Mm-hmm. The initial release will be in the 50 set range, according to Steve. Of course, I will be contributing to the miniatures rules. Thank you, Phantom. And I'm hoping this figure types. The rules and figures will be significant contributions toward developing the world, but much more is needed. So he's thinking wargaming with this right off the bat, which I found really interesting. So the RP aspect is to come from the wargaming itself. It's always that way, Rob. Always works that way, man. So it's all good. I really appreciate it. Okay. Here is a funny little tidbit I found. I already told this to Anna. Much of the original activity in the Greyhawk campaign came in the huge city of Greyhawk. My initial map was 8.5 by 11, soon enlarged to 4 times that size. Even that was too small. All right. I'm now going to what amounts to about a four size game map size to the whole place in fair detail. The mapping isn't complete, and only a few of the most outstanding places are noted, and there's many months of work left before the design will become to submit to TSR's product development department. Ready for this? Sometime in 81 or 82, though, you should see a giant map in Gazetteer for the city of Greyhawk being offered for sale.
They almost made it.
Yeah, they were late by 7 years. So
Well, didn't they came out 83? Oh, it was about the city. Okay,
89.
Yeah.
89, the City of Greyhawk box set comes out.
Did they mean the gold box set, the World of Greyhawk?
No. He says the City of Greyhawk being offered for sale. Yeah, he's talking about the city here.
Yep.
So that's not 9 years too late. I found that really funny, but that's okay. 9 years.
Yep.
This gazetteer will detail the deities of the place not otherwise dealt with in modules or the like, by the way, and readers will learn more about old IUs. That's in quotes. The current menace from the state of that name, as well as, who Ralashaz is, why Hexter is bad news in combat, and so on. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, while the project is yet ways off, modules of the World of Greyhawk are currently in the works. I don't even know what this is. Skip Williams is working on my original outline for Shadowland. And from what I've seen so far, we should be able to have a final product out this year. The module will be an adventure on the Plane of Shadow. Perhaps that should be Quasi Plane of Shadow. What is that? Does anyone want to know what that turned into? I don't know. I'm thinking Egg of the Phoenix, but that was Janelle Jacquays. That wasn't Skip.
Okay.
What is Shadowland? Anyone out there know?
Maybe there was something they found for the 4th edition. They found old notes laying around for the Shadowfell.
Yeah. I mean, my gosh.
Or they just read this article and went with it, or
I don't know what that is. So
it's cool.
Mystery. I don't know. So maybe we're gonna ask Skip Williams that one day. Now Steve Moore should be coming to work for TSR this summer for a couple of months, and I have work up general outlines and hammer out details. So only one exchange of materials will be needed for each piece. Because of this, there may be as many as 10 World of Greyhawk modules based on the planes by the end of 81 or mid-82. I don't know of any that came out for the planes. So this is interesting that this discussion.
Manual of the planes was late.
Yeah, that was 87.
Yeah.
85 to 87. Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
So here's one whole piece of the world remains to be covered, and it's from what I input. It is the dungeons under Greyhawk Castle. Now we know the original one did come out till 2nd edition. Greyhawk Ruins. So about the time Dungeons & Dragons was published, the dungeons under the Ruined Castle consisted of 13 levels down, a couple of extra on the sides. Yeah, it's interesting. And this is May of 1980. This is really, really early.
Yeah.
Rob Kuntz joined me as co-DM of the Greyhawk campaign, and he took over doing. Now we know about Al Rajaki and a whole bunch of stuff that came out as third party. Greyhawk had about 50 various levels. My involvement with TSR grew more demanding of time. Soon he was actually the sole DM, as I had the Temple of Elemental Evil campaign going. Actually, that doesn't come out till 1985. So Hamlet's 79, and this is like 85. So, and now he's talking. It's not too difficult to put the Village of Hamlet in shape for publication. The Temple of Elemental Evil is a slightly different case. However, if I use some random dungeon generation methods as a test for the systems. So far, most of the stuff that he's talked about is not going to come out within the 5 years. Oh my gosh, Amy. Well, thank you. 1 sec. Duh on me.
That's good. Yep.
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. Duh. So we got a $25 gift certificate, Frog God Games, and we also another winner will get a couple of classic modules and giveaways. So give me 1 second here, and I will open this back up. And my bad. There we go. That should start it up. Duh.
I was thinking Shadowland. Could that be those kind of fairy tale modules with the Alice in the Wonderland or something like that?
You mean Dungeonland and Land Behind the Magic Mirror? Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe call them Shadowland, the Dungeonland or something. I don't know. Yeah.
They're not in Greyhawk though.
No, they're not. That's true. So we have a Shadowland module that is tied to Greyhawk. That's really cool. Yeah.
Yes. Well, so
Plane of Shadow. That's super cool.
So and then some other things here. He talks more about To sum it all up, the World of Greyhawk project will go on for several years with the initial maps and gazetteer completed by rules for miniature figures, recreation of the warfare of the place, plus a line of figurines for minifigs in the near future. The city of Greyhawk might make a 81 publication date, certainly 82.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Because there are so many demands on my time, much of this depends on the cooperation of fellows as Skip Williams, Steve Marsh, maybe Rob Kuntz, and Ernie Guy X. There you go. So, and remember, we have the UK division coming out because Fiend Folio is coming out. It comes out in 81. You know, yeah, isn't it crazy? That's why I found this so intriguing. Jim Ward and Rob Kuntz have all but finished Deities and Getting Demigods. We know that's the case. So that's going to come out. We know that that's the case here.
Yep.
And then as we come back up here, Jeff Perrin will be moving to a location much nearer in Lake Geneva. So besides the possibilities of doing a major revision and an expansion of chainmail, so he's working on. They're all working on these miniature rules. That just seems like what Gary's thing is on, which is interesting. Finally, as a bonus for reading through all this, you will find some order of battle information for certain renowned figures in the world of Greyhawk. So here's Bigby. Magic user of 18th level, fortress location unknown, possibly between the Shieldlands and the Bandit Kingdoms. Is that true? Bigby has a fortress somewhere between the Shieldlands and the Bandit Kingdoms?
It's quite a distance between Shieldlands and the Bandit Kingdoms, so hang on a second.
Well, no, White Plume Mountain's right there.
Yeah. So Bigby has one.
Yeah, and here's all Bigby's troops. He gives Bigby with all his troops.
Then it's cool. We have to put in Bigby. This is awesome. We have to put Bigby in there. So now we need to put that
somewhere.
Yeah. It never happened, but okay, now we can put it in there. So yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
he
also
was up there in the frontier, but Bigby is kind of contemporary. He's not back in old history. This is new. This is kind of
with May of 1980. This is.
Oh yeah, but I'm thinking in campaign terms. Bigby is not someone who lived 500 years before. He's someone who lives 576 and
absolutely.
Onwards.
Yeah.
So he's not historic.
You're dead on. Hey, Gargamon. This is. I mean, I had to share this article when I found it.
Oh yeah!
Oh my gosh!
Is so cool. Yeah, this is so cool.
This force. So he also says here, 150 dwarves from the Cron Hills were serving with Bigby. And then just some other details here. Now here's Morning Canaan. Several years ago, the neutral Archmage took a rather vast cavalry force and rode into the west, supposedly on a mission to succor an evil associate called for his aid. He has never returned. So Morning Canaan at this point is missing.
Yeah.
His force consisted of the following. Yep.
Yeah. Maybe Gary kept him to his own campaign and didn't want to talk about it publicly yet or something.
Robilar. Robilar actually goes down in level. Here he's 19th, but in other publications he's lower than that, like 18th, 17th.
Well, I guess it depends on where
they got drained.
Yeah, yeah, that too. Yeah.
Sometime over 1 year ago, Robilar freed a demon. In the ensuing difficulties, forces lined with goods sacked and destroyed his stronghold west of the city of Greyhawk. And has that in the map. It is reported the following force escaped is now somewhere in the Pomars region. So Robilar, as of this, has forces in the Pomars. Just crazy stuff. Tensor, hidden along somewhere on the southern shares of near Davis Fortress. Tensor is likely the identity of the master of this place is kept secret. So, where does it say? Does it say continue? Oh, turn to page 30. I hate when they did this back in the day. There's 30. All right. Yep. All right. So, and they also give you the unnamed, known as Arak's cousin as well. Yeah, exactly, Ananson. Isn't that cool? So, the unnamed. Very malign individuals, once a servant of good, but in being captured by demons, subsequently escaping, he's barely turned from his former deity for failing him in need and now serves hell at will and enthusiasm. And here's his troops. Now, it doesn't say where they are. So, there's Eric's. They don't have stats. No strength, intelligence, wisdom. They have the troop amounts.
Maybe it's what this is so early that the D&D rules is barely out yet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, 1980. So, because if you remember, I'm playing Holmes Basic at this point. We're still playing Holmes Basic at this point. There is no battle system, Bloodwild. There's none. In the beginning of this article, Gary says the minifigs guy is making up miniatures rules for the game, and they're putting out a Greyhawk setting, and it's basically a big war game with some RP in it. I mean, that's what I weaned from it.
I think that's what they were aiming for. That's what
yeah,
they were playing back then.
And that's
they had the man of war and stuff like that. No fighter classes, no classes. It was like the classes was something much less sophisticated than we think of in today's terms of D&D. It was like basic, very basic abilities. And
Holmes Basic is out, but that's it. So he is Eric's. Yes, natural 20. Eric's cousin is definitely in Rogues Gallery, and all that stuff is going to come out this year in 1981. But the thing is, as I wanted to share this, just to get the idea when you see these upcoming events articles, why they're so heavy on what the troops are. Look at this
war game is still the heart of their gaming experience. So,
and Child's Play second edition there, Rob. So Skip's like behind the scenes at this point, right? So it's an interesting article, and that's why I wanted to share it, because he does throw out some tidbits here. Old IUs, right? The current menace from the state of that name. So it just calls him a menace. It doesn't go into any details. Who Ralashaz is. Ralashaz, right? So
now we know who he is. Yeah, thanks.
If any of you can figure out what Shadowland is, that's hey Casey. Skip Williams is working on my original outline for Shadowland. For what I've seen so far, we should be able to have a final product out this year. This is 1980. I don't know what it is. What is Shadowland? So that's the big question. So.
Yeah, but it might just be a working name for the module set in the Plane of Shadows. And they call it Shadowlands because it sounds more fun than the Plane of Shadows.
So no, Casey's on. I'm going to give a little tidbit here. The week after Virtual GrotCon, we will have a bonus Legends and Lore. Tentative time, Saturday morning, October 8th, 10 a.m. with Creighton, Broadhurst, and the Brits.
Yes.
Living Greyhawk. Okay? Living Greyhawk on wall, finally. But that's how we got it. Yep. Okay. And that'll be a Saturday morning, October 8th is the tentative date right now. Okay. Just letting you all know. Throw out a little tidbit there. Yep. And thanks to Casey for getting that all organized. Okay. So here we are in this early Dragon 37. Greyhawk is, the great, wonderful, and I have it right here. This comes out.
1981 or was it
80? This came out. This comes 80. Out right at this time. Yeah, 1980. This is the original, and then the box set version of this comes out in 1983.
Yep.
And 1980 is the one where they have the levels of the leaders, but they don't have the names. Where in 83 they don't have the levels; they have the names and the titles. So awesome. It's always
no
good
deities
to see.
In the first folio that came in the box set.
Yep. So. Just note how early that is and where we are here. So some other things that are fun in this 37. By the way, thank you for that massive level 5 hype train as we started off. Leonard Lakofka, in a bit of rare humor, presenting the Monties. Thought I'd share this. As an example of how to draw up a pantheon, I'd like to present a set of characters I once devised after reading one of Jim Ward's Nightmares in the Dragon. So there you go. Leonard's busting Jim's balls. So James, while perhaps being tongue-in-cheek, produces D&D material that can curl the hair of a DM who is trying to think of AD&D as an intellectual as well as fun pursuit. Here follows a sampling of my Monty Hall pantheon. Oh my gosh. So he makes up an article to bust Jim Ward's stones. Monty Hall, Mr. Excessive. Oh my gosh, that is funny. So, that is really hysterical. Oh, is it in? Is it in there? Does he talk about that in there, Alex? Wow, I'll have to take a look. That's cool. Alex just linked me an article from 2009 that Skip may talk about it. And here, so Monty Hall, Mr. Excessive, is obviously Jim Ward, and then you got all these other people: Gilda, Quicksilver, Vard, Meta, Ali. I mean, he's Glob Coons. That's got to be Perry Noy. I mean, he's really Perry Noy's specialty is the charisma zap. Oh my god! So he must be sitting in on these games and just saying, "You guys are Monty Hall," and he's just busting his stones. I thought that was hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very fun things in here. And I thought there was one other thing. I love Squad Leader. It's a board game back in the day, and maybe in the next one I was going to talk about Gen Con. Oh my gosh, Gen Con number 8. University of Wisconsin Parkside, 1980. My gosh. I am 13 at the time. Convention schedule. I guess no, there wasn't. I think it's in the next one. Giants in the Earth. Okay. All right. It's in the next one. So, oh, look. There's an article in here, an ad for Fortress Elendar on my wall of fame. Look at that. And Morgard. I never even noticed that. High fantasy adventure games. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Lomas, I have a feeling that I've never played a gym game, but I'm hopeful that at Gary Con, Sir Andrew's going to get me in on one of those. I'm hopeful. All right, let's go to the next one. Please feel free to ask questions, input as things come up here.
Should I put up my little, because it's the first one?
Yeah, please.
It's a dragon number 1.
Dragon 1.
Yes, Dragon number 1 that came out in the year. Hang on a second here. Now I need to.
77.
70. Oh, it doesn't say it.
Yeah, they have.
I think it's 70. Hang on a second here. June 76.
Okay.
There is a Greyhawk related stuff in there.
Oh, let's hear it. Yeah, please do.
For all. It's on. Let's see. Page 36, if I remember correctly here. 30. Yeah. On page 28, there is an article called the Gnome Cache. and it's by Garrison Ernst. And that's the first time, at least in D&D terms, that the term worth mentioned the very first time in Dragon number 1 in the article, and it's a in the preludes, and it's mentioned I think 10 times in that article, and it's a story about gnomes. I haven't read the whole thing, but it mentioned that the world of Earth is a parallel to the real world of Earth, and it's taken, and it has many inhabitants, and Asia is a little trifle smaller, and Europe and North America is a bit bigger. And so it has it talks a little bit about Earth races are similar in many respects to ours, and their migrations and distributions somewhat resemble those of our world, but their histories differ sharply from ours, departing from our probability lines some 2,500 years ago.
Oh, interesting.
And so it's clearly not describing the Earth, the Greyhawk that we have in published products, or even the Gary's Greyhawk. But it's interesting. It might be that Gary and the TSR took the term Earth apparently from this article, because that's the first time the term Earth is used, which I think is kind of cool.
So Rick Swell says
Garrison Ernst might very well be,
it's Gary Gygax, yeah.
Yes, exactly. He just didn't want to use his own name. So yeah, which is kind of, yeah. So I haven't read the whole article because I found out this about an hour ago, so I haven't read it all, but it's yeah.
It's real interesting
Yep.
to note that
Yep.
Gary back in the day had to come up with, and how much he gave Darlene carte blanche just to fill in the map and get as much done as possible. What areas we know that he took a lot of Blackmoor, merged that in, because we've seen those Blackmoor maps. Which had the Great Kingdom move. The Great Kingdom got moved over.
Well, those are the Castle and Crusade Society.
Right.
Yeah. So we have the Castle and Crusade Society, and we have Blackmoor and some other homegrown stuff, so to speak. That was thrown together and eventually became the published version of Greyhawk.
Right.
And then in parallel, we have Gary's home campaign that he and Rob and maybe a lot of other DMs and stuff dabbled in over time, so to speak. And the problem is that from now, when we look back in old sources, they all blur together and it's hard to tell what is what. That's why we have, and then we have another fork when Gary left TSR and he started the Gord line and continued the Gord books. There we have another offshoot that doesn't match later Greyhawk products. So we have, therefore, we have a kind of a mishmash of things from various age that we have to, and this is kind of, but the big B stuff that's dynamite, so to speak. That's so cool because that's probably something that was not considered and never put in the books afterwards.
Right.
But who knows? I'm definitely going to do something with my Shieldlands campaign. I think it's brilliant. Yeah.
So you have White Plume Mountain, right? You got Schick. You got Hammock's contribution, and I showed you Hammock's map last week. You have Lendor Isle, Leonard's campaign.
Yeah.
All their individual campaigns. Gary's convinced all of them to contribute their part to TSR and to Greyhawk.
Yep.
So we know 4: Blackmoor, Schick's, Hammock's, and Lendor.
And then we can add another one. We can add Paisohawk because they also put in things that were published, but then it was published by Wizards of the Coast, but it's still in that sense published by the publisher of official Greyhawk material at the time, so to speak. So that added and changed and built upon it too. So that's why we have this kind of awesome pool of melting pot of Greyhawk content over the years, which is kind of cool, I think.
So I'm going to jump to Dragon 39. And the reason I do this is I think there are moments in time that give Dragon its pop and allure, and I want that magazine. And I think it's this article. It's this one. And they were going to stop Best of Dragon Volume 2 at 38. But then they said we have to add 39 in because everyone will be pissed off if we don't put the anti-paladin in. So, and look, here's the World of Grout Fantasy setting showing up in this. This is 2 months after that Gary article. And good, got you down. Try this for evil. So I don't know why 1E and 2E this never appears again. Now, I know there's Blackguards in 3rd edition and all, and, there's first 2 editions. This appears in Best of the Dragon Volume 2 in here. And that's it. It doesn't go anywhere else. And I never knew why, because it was so popular. And like I said, we use it to this day. And this is the article by George Laking and Tim Mesford on the Anti-Paladin class, which is really a fun, it's a great antithesis for a campaign. And they don't have to be these, they can be very deceitful, snively whiplash types too. But this is like the article that drew Tim in. I know Tim talks, to this day loves this article, and I love it too. And so I'm still 13 years old here. I got the Glossography. I'm starting to get books when I can afford them. I don't have them all yet. I don't think at this point. I don't have all the books that are available at this point. So, but we started our Greyhawk campaign, and if I recall, we're playing a lot of Holmes Basic and converting some of this stuff over to AD&D at this point, but we're still playing Holmes Basic. So, and that's the article on that. Now, there's some other great things in this article, that got us going as well. And and look, here's another. Leonard is still pumping it out here, starting from scratch. So creating a party. So he's talking about how to create a party here, which is cool. Leonard was always good for these little unique ideas and things.
Yeah.
Tables for getting the initial spells and all. It's just useful stuff. Next time, try Cleric Article. I know it's coming up here. These Giants in the Earth issues were really cool because they gave characters from, human our history, which is So these are probably and they're by Tom Moldvay there did those. But where is it? Sage Advice were cool. I know I saw it. Here we go. Good hits and bad misses. So the start of the critical hit and fumble tables right here. Carl Parlagreco. Anyone know him? I sure don't.
No?
Yeah, announce it, but that's not till like 106. That Paladin article with the Lyran Paladin and all them, it's not till Dragon 106. It's way out. It's years away from this. 70 issues or whatever, 60 whatever issues. So it's way out there. So yep. So here comes our first critical hit table. Right? Here it is, double, triple, and then all the other special effects. Critical hits blunt, critical hit missile throwing, critical hits versus animals, fumble chart. So it's right here, and this is the basis of what I have for mine. Tim's going way crazy with the more realistic stuff, but this is, you can see a lot of these we still use to this day. Shield armor removed at risk, no effective shield. They're still on our table to this day. So from this 39 critical hits have come into play. Now my guess is, this is a guess, I start using them 82. That's a guess. 82. I think I started using crits. I didn't use them right off the bat in 80. I think it was 82. So natural 20s. Yes, it's not natural 20s. Unless now this is not yet. Keen weapons. Now in my game, crit 19 or 20. If you take improved critical off of having specialization, you can take improved critical, improve critical that, and you can crit on 19 and 20. Improved critical and keen does not stack. It doesn't go 18, 19, or 20, but yeah, 19 or 20 can be a crit. Certain items have built in. So yeah, this is the start of it. So we're still talking in 1980. Great ideas are starting to come out of these Dragon magazines. And this is the thing I'm trying to make in all this is, I'm going to show some Greyhawk stuff, some things that you may not know about, a lot of you. But you can pick up any dragon from, I think go from 125 back, and I guarantee you, Anna, you're going to find something you can utilize in your campaign. And you're like, wow, I didn't know about that. I didn't know that was really cool. Now I'm thinking it's in this one too. I thought it was in this one. I'm just going to show it up because I don't know. Let me see if there's something from Ed Greenwood in this one. It's in one of these early ones, and I just snipped it. It may have been in 37. Ed is. You remember how Ed said made that the Magi on the discussion 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay. I found another one. I found this. The Bleeder.
Oh, that's cool.
Created by Ed Greenwood. He's never mentioned. The Bleeder is a fearsome. Yeah, I just browsing through, studying for this. I was like, oh my God, look at this. Here's Ed's attempt.
He's done more monsters than he remembers. So yeah.
Yeah. So this here is another Ed attempt at. It's not a Gaspor or a Beholder. And I've never heard of this. The Bleeder is a fearsome monster found in caverns and ruins. Its spherical body resembles that of the dreaded Beholder, but the eye stalks of the Bleeder are actually blood-sucking tentacles. So there you go. It looks like it's rolling on the ground, too. I don't know if it floats. The movement rate's 9. The movement rate is not in the air. So this thing is a ground creature. 9 inch. It doesn't have the fly rate on it. Yep. Oh, wait a minute. It also said, wait a minute, that's incorrect. Bleeders often meet in midair, struggles to death.
Yeah.
All right, so they do. They can. But they can also ram or crush So, well, here's the thing. I'm gonna put this on against Ed in a future adventure and say, "Hey, Ed, look what I found." Yes. So Anna,
Yeah.
unfortunately, is part of the group, and she'll know the trick's coming. But there you go.
Oh, but that's one for Ed. So, yeah.
Yeah. Got it. The bleeder. So, you got some wonderful stuff here, and this is just 39 and 37 early on. Two very early, and I'll leave 39 up. We got to go back to articles. Now, we're going to jump ahead, and this is where our wonderful friend there, Greyhawk Musings, brought this up, David Leonard. From the initial story, something is going on in the head of Gary about combat and about, troop movements and in that style. So we're going to go to Dragon 59. Okay. And this one, now look at this. No, this is bad. Gypsy's AD&D style right on the front cover. Wow. Something that probably wouldn't go over too well now, but that's right on the cover of Dragon magazine. Fiend Folio is being advertised, so we're in that era. And then we're going to look at here and notice they don't have the authors' names down anymore in any of these. Oh, the bleeder's in here. I'm sorry, 59. There's the bleeder. It's in here on page 21. So cantrips appear. These are a lot of these you're going to see as Arcana test runs. Cantrips appear in Arcana. There's a whole bunch of them. I don't use them. Yep.
And they called the cantrips for clerics were orisons.
Orisons, yep, absolutely.
Orisons in another article later on. Yep.
Yep. This is not 83. This is 80. I'm going to say this is late 81, early 82. Let me see. Dragon 59. Do we got a date on this? March 82. There you go. March of 82. So as we come to this, there, we'll skip that on Gypsies. I can't believe it. There's the bleeder. It's right here. Okay, so Ed's bleeder's in here. Spriggan's in here. Roger Moore created the Spriggan. There you go. That's in here. Here we go. Rob Kuntz.
Oh, yeah, these are great.
So, Franklin, I'm going to be, what's the word here? I'm going to be me. It's not, it doesn't bother me, but I know it bothers others. So I'm just going to let sleeping dogs lie with the gypsies thing. And it just, because it's a no win, you can't win. You're not going to win that argument. Let's just, and so we don't need to discuss it. Some things are better left in the ether, right? They call them Vistani now, great, and that's good enough for me.
But is that mentioned in this article? Is that why you brought it up?
Yeah, it's on the front cover. There's a whole article about gypsies in here.
Yeah,
yeah, that's it. Yeah. So the Knights of Doom. See, Gary, yeah, and I'm not trying to be offensive to anyone. I'm not trying to, but it's just for me. I'm going to be respectful of that situation that's going on, and we're just going to continue to discuss the other things that are pertinent.
You can still have something that's called Rennie that you have in your campaign.
Rennie,
no problem.
Rennie is no problem at all.
Even the Atloy.
Absolutely. Atloy, Rennie, Vistani, whatever you're going to call them, is so be it. All right, so here is the article. The first one of the settings where they go, here's what's going on in the world of Greyhawk. Okay, this is the first one I found.
Yeah, I don't know how early they came, but they were a regular feature for years. And Joe Block have added more on Greyhawk Ragnar.
He did. He's added a ton of them, which is great.
Yeah, you added more of them later on, so to speak, that are done in he copied the style, so they really look like they were in Dragon. It's an awesome. So these articles are great. And you can also notice a lot of this stuff that came out in the early ones are being used in Saga of the Old City and Artifact of Evil and stuff. So you can see a lot of upcoming stuff. And I bet that Carl Sargent used a lot of this for future products too, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's based on this. So it's kind of cool to read these kind of hints and backstories and stuff like that.
And that's the point. Excuse me. That's the point of tonight's Gabbin. I want to show some early Dragon magazines, give you some ideas that can help you, and note that there's a lot of this hidden data out there that you can utilize that is not in any publication. You know? So, all right. So the Demonic Knights of Doom, which is really cool, and this is where they appear, and this is right up Dale's alley here. Great Kingdom, and it gives you a whole background on it, and also a league having an association with the Archclerk of Foltis and having offices in many temples and around the Overking's capital, has announced its great disfavor with the Overking and its contempt for the chaotic deeds of the present. So, first time in a dragon that a specific Greyhawk event is mentioned outside of glossographies. The 83 glossographies hasn't even been done yet. Right, the box set. All we have is the 80 glossography right now.
Yeah,
right?
And we have that little map that end up in the box set, so to speak. That one follows these because they used it to show where in where in Greyhawk they were talking about, so to speak. So that one is.
Yep.
Which issue of Dragon is this that you?
59. This is Dragon 59.
Okay, yep. Thank you.
And this is from March of 1982. Okay. All right. And from this, thank you. And Dragon 52 is lens adding depth to Flash with birthplace, tables, language, human, and racial types. You know what I'll do, Rex Fellas? I'll go back because I missed that. I'll go back after that. I'll go back to 52 if I have it on my machine, and we'll take a quick look at that. I appreciate that, and that's Leonard too, which makes it gold. So here is once again, though. Look at this. It's all about these Demonic Knights of Doom. What troops they're going to command. Mm-hmm. That's what this discussion is about. Yep. Showing, and they have magic weapons and all in their gear. It's all based on. There are only two marshals. The greater of the two serve the northern and eastern provinces. So, and here's the unit comparisons showing you percentages. It is very, very war game based still in this, but there is some good history here. So, yep. Zane, who created the Demonic Knights of Doom, who marshaled the Overking armies. So, you got some good. Yes, these are just snapshots, absolutely, which is cool. And it's the first one that I found. But we're going to go back to 52 if and take a look there also. And then you got some. I always got some good lit in here, and. Yeah, you got a lot of science fiction in this one. Traveler stuff, which is cool. Traveler's cool. Back in the day. Is there anything better than dying during a character creation and then Traveler? That was the funnest thing. You could always.
Should I go another term after like 3 terms? It was like, they were like crippled old 40, 50-year-olds want something in that game. Yeah.
And throughout all this, you had Roger Moore's stuff going on. You had all that. So, yeah. All right. So let me pop back to 52 here. If I have 52 or I have 56 on my machine, I'm not 100% sure. Let me take a look. Dragon. Because I have all the rest preset. I have 52. And 56. All right, let's do these real quick here. 52. All right. 52. Let's see what Len says. There we go. Okay. Wow. Cool. 18. Adding depth to the Flannis. Nice. All right, thank you for this. Detail by Len Kafka.
Oh.
So, he gives you birthplace, likely alignments. Nice.
Oh, that's what came in the box set. That
Yes.
one is, I think it's then in the glossography in the second volume. It's in the back where you can give. Yeah, so that's where this one came from. So yeah.
So,
that we see that a lot of dragon materials being reused later on in products too. So yeah, but sometimes it can be. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go ahead. Keep going, Anna. Keep going.
I was going to say sometimes it can be cool to go back to the original source because there might be other material and stuff that didn't make it in, or can be interesting to see different versions of the same rule or the same lore, so to speak. So
Torlock, that's a good question. So this one's available. This one's available on drive-through as a download. I mean, as a PDF. So that's a good starting point. I mean, this is really good. To get Grazier. This is really good.
That is dynamite.
Yeah, either one of these, if you can get a hold of, if you really want to go back to the beginning, you want to get a hold of an 83 box set or 80. I don't think they're available on downloads anymore. Yeah.
It's also available on drive-through RPG as a PDF with the maps and stuff.
But if you want a starting setting, Hamlet is always a good place to go. I forgot to show people this. I did get this. I got this. This is. I finally got the Timon Con. No, this is the original. Yeah, this is this is brand new. This is Howard Johnson's Return, and he's spelled differently.
Okay. Cool.
Return to Timon Con. There's only 200 available. I got number 129. The certificate of authenticity. So I just got this yesterday, as a matter of fact. It's got I don't know what edition it is, but I figured I wanted to get it and get a hold of one of the first 200 ones of those. I think it was like $25. So, yep. No, I don't. No, because for number one, the system haste in our game only ages a year. I don't for haste or speed potions or anything like that. But I do for a lot of other things. It could have been Pathfinder. All right, so this is a lot of demi-human birthplaces. Len loved his tables. Len loves his tables.
Yep.
Which is cool. So, and notice it's elf, dwarf, gnome, halfling. It's not high elf, gray elf at this point either.
I think game mechanics wise, there were only these basic ones in like basic D&D. We didn't have more granularity than that.
There's a lot of languages spoken in alignment tongue in here, which is really not used that much anymore. In Len's article. This is a good one.
Big things back in early days. Yeah.
Yeah. I really thank you for bringing that to my attention. Let's go to 56 and see what that one has in it, because I may have missed it because I was looking for events in the eastern and southern Flannis, and this one has northeastern Flannis.
Oh, 56.
56, yeah. Let me take a look here. And that's why I missed it. There's a Form the Sorcerer's Scroll, more Greyhawk goodies. All right, that's got to be at page 18. Protection circles and the like, plus news. No wonder. Okay, North Central Flannis, 1981. So these protection circles, if I recall, they all appear in Articana as well in the back.
Yep, I think they did. Yep.
All right, here we go. Horn Society. Oh, that's funny because we're going to be talking about this. This is perfect. All right, Wolf Nomads, Ayus.
Yep.
And
Kingdoms.
Right. And the Horn Society. Now, this is important because Anna and I are doing Horn Society on Legends and Lore Wednesday night. So let's see here. There is this that looks like the Horn Society attacks the shield. This is probably where the Horn Society attacks the shield lands.
No, and that's where Carl Sargent read this and put that into and they put it into the it's repeated from the Ash. It's repeating in Living Greyhawk Gazetteer and stuff. So later products, they did their homework and read this. So yeah,
I missed it because it was mixed in with protection circles in the front, which is weird. So And here, an intelligence network of 300 discovered a plan to wrest control of White Soul Lake from the Navy, and therefore the Ayu's armies stood before Eru Torvar. King Belver's fleet staged a daring raid upon Dorka. Well, look, there's a battle right there. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So this talks about Hierarch Bluntug, half-orc cleric fighter assassin, an illegal triple class, which is interesting. Wow. Huh. So be it. You can do anything you wanted. Well, neat. I gotta remember that and specifically write that down and keep that for 56 for discussing that on.
Yep, I'm going to read all that.
I agree. All this should have been the Greyhawk box set, but for some reason they didn't want to put this level of detail in. Yeah, but that's really cool. Oh, Shattered Satan, Wanderer, thank you both. So it also says Allied bandits and brigands were called upon a rendezvous with the Hierarchs, thousands of troops at Dingaverge, a small town on the edge of the Fell Reeve. Do you have Dingaverge on your map, Anna?
Yep, I do.
Okay. The cavalry ride at Dingaverge led by Plar
I've read them once in 20. I've read these through, but that probably over 20 years ago when I put it in there. So yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's also mentioned in I Use the Evil and probably a few other places as well.
There's that Plar title showing up again. So we're going to discuss this a lot more on Wednesday night and right here in depth. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Now I know where to find this stuff out of 56. Let me see if there's anything else interesting in this one. Mad Merc. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good top secret. Ah, it was long. Holy jeez. That was really long. Okay. I wonder who they got to do that picture. Don't jump with the brick off the. That's a good question.
You probably had to sit on a roadside somewhere, little overpass.
I don't know any of them. Game Science Dice. All right.
I'm sure someone at TSR had to because there were not much stock photos. Were not a thing that back then that much. So
Wormy and what's new is in this one. Yep. Very cool. Excuse me. Kind of looks like Ed. I doubt if Ed put something around his neck and threw it off the edge, though. Kind of looks like Ed, but who knows? We'll have to. Maybe Skip knows. How interchangeable are these articles for BECME, BX, and AD&D? Back in the day, really, very. There's no, because you still don't. Demi-humans have very limited classes. The classes themselves are really almost the same, right? Paladin, Ranger, Fighter, Thief, Assassin, Mage, Cleric. There's not that many different classes that are in Holmes Basic, really. Just a couple minor changes. There are no gnomes in Holmes Basic. Everyone forgets halflings in Holmes Basic aren't thieves; they're fighters. So, a halfling thief didn't come about until AD&D. So exactly at this point they're not distinguishing. Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. That's a great. Now I know exactly where to get that information for Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Perfect. Yep. Great. Thank you.
So now let's go to back here. And 63. Yep. A class appears that I used, the Bandit, to this day. Some minor changes. We did them all these. We did all this discussion in an adventure showing all the classes I use out of Dragon Magazine, but that's one of them. This one has a lot of banditry in it, so the Bandit Kingdoms are really featured in this one a lot. As you can see, divas are in here and stuff that's going in future publications. The Barbarian class shows up in here. Articana, so they're testing it. It's here. The one before this, number 72, is the Cavalier. We've done that multiple times, talking about that one. Barbarians are souped up, die 12s, double dice on con, double dice on dex. Really can be an abusive character if you're not careful. I love this. So, Casey, this is where the bandits are. I don't know if we know who wrote this, because there's no title on this. I don't know if we know who did this. So, yep. But it shows once again.
That's a good one for Bandit Kingdoms. Yeah.
Look, Red Hand, Prince Zeech, 5/8 Cleric Fighter. Which means, is he dual class human, Casey, or is he half elf? So, and all their troop totals are in here too. Of course, actually a Bara assassin.
Mm-hmm.
So, just a little blurb, and that's it. And that, and you got a lot of information here. You got names finally of all the bandit leaders that I'm assuming the Bandit Kingdom's developed on. He's called Relcor elsewhere. Okay.
Oh yeah, and this is also being developed on for Living Greyhawk Gazetteer and earlier stuff too. So yeah.
Yeah, this is still 1982. So we're Living Greyhawk Gazetteer is 18 years away.
Oh yeah, and before that we had I Use the Evil and we had the box set even and stuff. So it's being developed in multiple. But I like that map and stuff.
Yeah, and that this was done. Someone made this.
That took from the Darlene map, and that wasn't. Well, hang on a second. The Darlene map was published with the folio, right? First time.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that's why it was already published.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
it was published 3 times. So folio, 83 box set, and From the Ashes all had a version of the Darlene map. They changed the printing because on the From the Ashes the edges were dark blue and not white, so to speak. So they did some layout changes and stuff, but the maps themselves I think are identical.
So you're going to here's your events in the Eastern and Southern Flannis article.
Yep.
It says it's by Robert Kuntz, but it says Gary Gygax, all rights reserved.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming Kuntz is writing this stuff and Gary's giving his stamp of approval on it.
Yeah, or some directions or something, and he's writing it. So yep.
Easily portable. That's what you like to hear. Beckman Gray, and that's a lot that we've discussed on that. Is that you can go either direction with Beckman Old School, Castle Crusades, all different options. So, thanks, Mike. Sea Barons are in here. Discussion on what's going on there. For Dale and stuff, the North Province is discussed. All right, what's going on with the North Province, and once again, it's all about troops and all about fights and battles. It says here the time granted to Herzog Grenell was indeed fortunate, as allowed the integration of units into his army, enabled him to be trained to some degree. So it's Sea of Medesia is here, talking about that. Solnar Ocean. They go over a lot of great detail in this.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, and then wow, is this all? This is all Sunday is in here. It's talking about Ivid. So Ivid is appearing in here before Ivid the Undying. They got some details on what Ivid is doing in this, well before the Ivid Undying by Sargent's done, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still, as news from the north, the Grandwood Forest. So there's a lot going on here that is not really in the 83 glossography. Yep. Which is cool. Well, he was an Overking before he came in Animus, yeah. So note, this is the first of this is the really, really juicy article that is done. I'm assuming Gary did the one for Shieldlands and all, and that Kuntz is doing the stuff in the Great Kingdom area. That's an assumption. I could be wrong. And look, and there goes Liam. Now Leonard's talking about making charisma count for more. Man, Leonard's pumping out stuff. Bandits. Good character class. We use it a lot. Roger Moore's article. This is the end of the gods ones. This is gods of the humanoids. great stuff in all these. Great stuff in all these articles.
Oh yeah, yep.
Plus Chagmat, and I'll just say with Akron on Ohio, the one-armed man is, and that's that adventure right there, Chagmat. That was the adventure that Tim's uncle ran for me the night I met Tim. Was it this one? I'm not sure. Maybe it wasn't. All right, so that's that one. What book clicked? This is 63. This is 63. I do have 64 up next too. Said, any questions or comments? Let me know. 64 is all about assassins.
All right. Okay.
Larry DiTillo, who wrote Masks and Nyarlathotep for Cassian before he went on to be a screenwriter in Hollywood. Wow. Did not know that, Dale. Yep, I got that one, Rexel. That one I have. Yeah, the early dragons have, and that's the thing. There's always something you could pull out of these. This is new weapons. Here comes your new proficiency tables that are going to go in Arcana, adding weapons, because certain classes are really limited on what you can use. So, Planetar Solars going in here. All right. So this one isn't really about what's going on that much in those events, but he put it in here. This is the article on Raxavort. The Zvart God appears right here. Why they didn't do a separate one and they decided to put it in here. This is Gary wrote this too. This is Gary Gygax. So it doesn't really say that this ties into an event going on in the area, I don't think. It's only one page as well. It's one page. That's it for this events article. That's it. But
no, it's the first and the. Are you still on the 63?
Yeah. No, I'm on 64.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
64.
Yep.
Oh wow, he did pass away. Sorry to hear that. Larry DiTillo. So, other than, well, it's a deity that got missed out of deities and demigods. That's all I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
And they have Zvarts from Fiendfolio, UK, and they don't have a deity for them, and they didn't want. I guess so. They decide, hey, we're gonna, have a deity made up here, and that's what this one is. So there you go. That's where it is. It's in Dragon 64. So probably is you think it's a misprint? It could be. It could really be a misprint. It doesn't make any sense why it says events of the Eastern Southern Flyers then has Raxavort in here. You're right. It could be just a misprint. That's a good point.
They can, yeah, exactly. They just reproduce the same one without,
and they just, no one caught it. It's a very good point.
Yeah.
Assassin's Guild. This is a cool article. Elizabeth Ceratelli with Linda Bisson. I don't know neither of them, but about putting together an Assassin's Guild. That's pretty neat. And look, The Assassins Run by Ed Greenwood. Another Ed article. Who was the editor of 64? Let me take a look. Where's it? Where does it say who the editor is?
In the beginning, I think.
Oh,
sometimes I have
Kim Mohan.
Oh, okay.
Kim Mohan. Contributing editors Roger Moore, and Ed Greenwood. Yeah, it is. So Ed's really is stepping up here. A bunch of artists contributed, but yeah. So I found that strange, but you could be correct that is a serious misprint. That could be the case, but we won't know. And there's that game Ogre. So Brian Bloom's working on a sumo wrestling game in this. Interesting. So notice the figures are still pretty bad at this point. Rob Parther's making some decent ones, but that's about it. So, all right, that's 64. So, questions, observations to this point.
I think if you really look, most of this is reprinted one way or the other in later. In later. But I think there's still a value to go back to the original sources sometimes, because there are certain things that are rewritten. There is an earlier version that might be more interesting, and sometimes it's interesting to see where things come from, especially when it comes lore and stuff. And you might, and also if you want to take things and change it to another edition, it might be good to have all the facts, so to speak, before you mess with it afterwards. So yeah.
So Wanred, great minds think alike. Hence why, if you don't, Wanred, I'm not sure if you know this because maybe you haven't been around for the 4 years. Every time I pass 1,000 followers, all the way through to 10,000, I've done it from 1,000 to 8,000 so far, I give away an original Best of the Dragon Volume 3. When we get to 9,000, I will give another one away, the 9th one. And the final last one will be at 10,000. So I've given away 8 of these so far. All right. Because it is the best. Best of Dragon Volume 3 is the best publication that there is. Compilations for Dragon. It's got great information in it. Agreed 100%. So, oh yeah. And I said, I have a whole stack of them I'm going through. So, yep. So much material cut from. There's a lot of details that do not get the time for any articles for more obscure games and a sheer number of game cons. Yeah, I mean they're all over the place too. The game cons. Some that I'm like, oh my gosh, there's some at Glassboro State College, Curtis, which is 5 miles from my house. I never went to and stuff. And I was lucky to get to the one at Widener. I think that was like Gen Con East or Origins East that one time. But and the ones at Cherry Hill, New Jersey, I got to some of them, but yeah, they were all over the place. Those Greyhawk update articles, everyone tried to call all of them setting out. No, Mattias, it's just with them so accessible, there's no reason to. Now, Mike Saxton put all of Len Kafka's articles together in one big PDF, which was cool. That exists, but not, it's not like based on region or anything like that. All right, so now let's hop to 65. I went right to it. All right, so what page is that? About 77. Oh, that's a big one. This one's got some great stuff in it. This one here. This has my orange, purple, and yellow dragons in it, which I use to this day.
Yeah, it's also one of the early Caldwells, I think.
Covers.
Yeah. I think it's Clyde Caldwell.
And also Elmore did a lot of the dragons here. Anyone remember this game? Like, this was for Atari, Apple, or Trash 80s, right? Oh. And if you had it on cassette, it would take 15 minutes to load the damn game. And you'd have the blob in there, and it was just so bad. But remember Crush, Crumble, and Chomp? Yeah,
no, epics. I don't. I actually got Amiga. I went in on the Amiga after the cassette generation.
Yeah, Amiga was ahead of its time.
Yeah,
with graphics, it just not people were coding.
I saw a lot of people who had VIC 20s, VIC 64s, and stuff like Commodore 64, and then they had,
Amiga was the way, and it was ahead of its time.
It was a good computer back in its time. Yep.
But it just didn't get enough support. So, all right, character classes to consider. He's talking once again. This is all stuff going in the Arcane that it's about to come out. All right, here we are.
Yep, and they kept the same logo at the top again.
Yes, exactly.
Whether it's actually, I don't know if it's actually supposed to be that way or not, but they kept the same.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read this because I'm wondering if this is Gary. A great sage of Keelan once said, in connection with the many rival powers in the East, Behold the sapping of strength, continuous and unabated, checked only by the ferocity of battle and erstwhile victories. Be aware that these powers never cease, turning over the old stone in search of the golden nugget placed there by those who didn't care. Be it known that such odious men as these that thwart men's survival, these are convinced that such nuggets are as plentiful as the languages of earth. Be still, people, lest by your movement you attract the attention of the mad ones, for nuggets may remain buried beneath an old stone, or in combination with others, be used to adorn a conqueror's breast as a necklace.
I found heraldry descriptions in these articles.
Oh, that's great.
Super cool. Yep.
So I think this is the last of these articles. Okay, unfortunately. I think this is it. Spindrift Sound, Spindrift Isles are discussed. It says here, during 578, a proclamation of war is issued against the Great Kingdom and her satellites by the Kingdom of Nyrond, the prelacy of Almor, and their allies. So there is war going on in 578 here, it says. Prelacy of Almor's armies are here. Relmor Bay's fleet. Nyrond's armies are here. So we have that all. Yep, that's what I thought. I thought this was the last one. It's a shame that this is the last one, but we got some other Greyhawk stuff coming.
Okay.
We trust me, we got some other good Greyhawk stuff coming. Keep Track of Quality by Leonard Lekofka. Oh, there's that guy. Don't jump again. Boarding Party. We get some science fiction. A proficiency system. Baku, that exists. That's in Much Mail 2, I think. Phoenix is as well. Here we go. Here's my missing dragons, the color wheel. I will throw a yellow, purple, or orange anytime against. And in fact, in the fundraiser this year, we fought an orange dragon and a purple dragon. It was a purple dragon that killed Imri. You remember, Anna?
Yeah.
And so here is that. And as you can see, there was definitely Elmore pictures right there. These two. That's an Elmore. That's an Elmore. And this is an Easley, that purple dragon. So. So Gary says these articles were read and assessed for the LGG. The only problem is that the contents were mooted by the Cook Sergeant Wars and Ashes Aftermath. Right, because a lot of that stuff just got overwritten, I'm assuming, because of what happened from the Ashes box set, where it just went really haywire. So they're trying to, I understand what they're trying to do here, and they're trying to continue the history going. They're trying to give you events that you can tie your game into, which is a cool idea, but there was an effort here. What I would have loved to have seen was it done in an annual update, and maybe in Dragon or maybe in a publication would have been a great idea. So we don't have any. So we don't have anything new from 83 until Jim Ward's book, right? And a lot of that was rehashed from other sources. The stories, there's some cool things in there, but I mean, there's great new content in there, but there's no grandiose stories. It's stories about the individual, right, going on in that Greyhawk Adventures hardback book, which is good in itself. But there's no grandiose story of what's going on in the world of Greyhawk in there. So, yeah, by Eric Mengi. And we've always tried to. Eric was talking about redoing it. We were attempting to do that. So we don't have any new information until Sargent and Niles, right, and Rick Rose come along with these. Then we get new information. In the Free Secret Rock box set, there's stuff going on. It talks about the surroundings around it. So that is when we finally get that information outside of the 83 glossography. So, like I said, these three dragons don't appear anywhere else. They don't appear in any of the Best of the Dragon articles or nothing, if I recall.
No, that's true. They stayed here, and then they didn't make up.
Love
Maybe
them.
they're in later editions of the game because they had a lot of dragons in 3rd edition and stuff. So that might have ended up there, but ended up in one of them. But not that I know. I've never used.
Yeah, I don't
dragon.
think so. It's
Exactly.
possible.
Yeah, but it's one of the.
Yellow for sure is in the 3 Draconomon. Okay, there you go, Casey. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it had no current events lore. That's what I'm saying, Gary. It had stories about individuals, which is cool. It had stories about mysterious places, but it had no lore of the entire setting. Yep. On the top of your head, did the lion's share of Greyhawk articles come between the Folio and 83 box set? I never tracked the dates of publication. These did. These all did. These all did.
Yeah, you can say that there's like gold. This is the first golden age of Greyhawk articles, and then there was like some years there were none, and then they started to come back again. I think it was then after when Saga of Old up until Saga of Old City and stuff came out, and after that there were some quiet years, so to speak, and then they came up again, leading up to the end of TSR era, leading up to what they were supposed to have published. They published Marklands and stuff like that. I used the Evil. Then there were articles describing some of that, and then there was leading up to was supposed to be even the Undying and stuff. But so there were some comments and some articles there, and then it came again when Paizo took over, or sorry, Wizard of the Coast took over, and at first then so there've been a couple of there's some years when nothing published, and then okay, great, we have Greyhawk again, and they come back up with articles. So there's been at least 3 eras of Dragon art or Greyhawk related articles in Dragon, and during the Paizo years of Dragon, there you had big whole campaigns and stuff. So every Dragon magazine was chock full of Greyhawk stuff then.
Yep. So a note here, Curtis: those events don't make it into the 83 box set. All the stuff, the event, they don't make it. Some of it, in particular, the article that's tied in with the pentagrams and stuff from 56, make it into the Free City Greyhawk box set because it's in that area, talking about the refugees from the Shield Lands and the Horn Society taking over that area, which is, I'm like, I hadn't read that, and I'm like, where the hell? When did that happen? Right? I'm like, why is Valderessa, Lady Valderessa, and Archer's Jakarta? Why are they in Greyhawk? I don't get it. And then I realized that's where it came from. Mm-hmm. So once again, we have this gap where Gary says this Free City Greyhawk box that's coming out in 81 and 82. It doesn't come out to 89. And then we have Jim Ward's book, which came out well before that, but it doesn't go over any. So there's a.
It's kind of interesting because the City of Greyhawk box set came out long after Gary had left TSR. So
right. Hey, Rich. So just bringing it out there. Yeah. So this is a glory era for me. I love. 80. The dragon. That's why I'm going over these and sharing these with you. These dragons are invaluable. Now here's an NPC class I've never used. I don't think I ever. I don't want to go here. Time Lords. One of the
Time Lords.
Yeah, okay. I've never gone here. So
is that what I think it is? Time magic. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is for AD&D. So
time travel.
This is for hastening and slowing. Yeah, it's a lot of the effects of doing those kind of things. But I'm not sure. Yeah, time stop. They're using spells that have to do with duration here. Let me see if there's any other tidbits in here. I used to love when they put advanced squad leader scenarios in here and squad leader games. All right. This, in my opinion, is an invaluable article. This supplements the Celtic deities and demigods section. Here comes Tim. Tim's about to make it in.
Okay.
Go too often to Dane. It gives you specifics. Yo, what's up, dude? Hopefully everything's okay.
Hello. Yes, just lots going on.
Yeah, man, no
Yeah.
problem. So we're in Dragon 65. We just talked about the color wheel of dragons. You know, purple, yellow, and orange, my favorites.
Okay.
And
We're
also,
talking about, we're talking about various Dragon magazines.
yeah, we're up to 65 now, going through some key ones. Now we're going to talk about this Tuatha De Danann article. And I'm going to show you why I love this so much. It goes over and it talks about a lot of the ones that are published and tries to find where they actually come from in wow, look at that. What number is that? 34. Okay. We already did your anti-paladin, by the way.
No, oh, very good. I was going to do just a magic item thing, but
Well, we can do that. So it goes over and talks about, it adds a deity that we have in my game that does not exist in Deities and Demigods, Kerber. It's basically the god of bards. Only place I've ever seen him exist is right here in this article. Very nicely done. Take a look at it if you want to add a really cool deity and it's got a Celtic flavor to it. It also talks about Serenus, who doesn't exist in Deities and Demigods, who's like the true nature. It's almost like what's the Sylvanus, which is in Deities and Demigods, and it talks about we use Serenus as well. It also gives you a little bit more detail on the Wild Hunt, so it's kind of a really cool if you're into that kind of stuff, which we've used before. Which issue is this? 65, Jim? Oh, Rick Sells, I do. I have Serenus, Kerber, and a couple of the others in here. You got to remember, there's a lot. Back in 1980, there are no Greyhawk deities. So we have the Deities and Demigods book. So we're using Finnish, some Celtic deities as our deities, and I still use them. We still have Ukko, we still have Leviator, Heisi.
Was it hard in the campaign to when you got the 83 box set, you got all these deities? Were you tempted to just throw out the kitchen sink of the old ones and redo them Greyhawk?
That's a good question.
Style, or yeah.
We thought about it, and then I said, it's my campaign. We're going to limit the ones that everyone utilizes down, and then add all the Greyhawk ones in.
Okay, yeah. So you kept what you had and then added. Was it anything you say? Oh, no, I'm not going to add that in my campaign because I already have.
Not the Greyhawk ones. We added all the Greyhawk ones in.
Yeah,
it's a good point.
Yeah, because a lot of DMs probably now it's less risky because there's not that much new official Greyhawk content comes out, but you have fan content and stuff, and all of a sudden you find someone who's doing something really cool, and then I tried to add, but in the beginning I was like, okay, now they write this and from the ashes, so out with the old and in with the new. So, but I didn't change it mid-campaign. I simply, okay, now I'm not playing a new campaign. We skip this bit, and this is the new reality. I'm not doing that anymore. I keep the reality consistent. So
we had characters. We had one character worship Dawnblast, the Justice Maker from the Melnibonen. We had a character that worshiped Chung Cool because he liked the sound of the name.
Cool.
From the Chinese,
it is a cool name.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, nope. They're we kept the ones that made sense. I mean, I love Leviator. Leviator's a Forgotten Realms deity to this day. A lot of them are as well. My Leaky, so.
Yeah, and it's definitely nothing wrong to keep it. Meaning you've worked in your campaign. I'm just curious because me as a DM, when I only played for a few years, I was like, oh, that's some new shiny. And it was like, that's better than what we had before. So then I felt forced somehow to change it and throw out and follow, so to speak. Now I don't. Now I was okay. I put it in there and then I rework it and eventually might come in some form or another, so to speak.
I used to have specialty priests of some of them. Good and bad. So, Tim, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I like, is it a different deity or is it the deity? Is it the same deity referred to as a different name by different cultures? And
there you have
so
good
you
options.
could always, you could always blend it in that way. And that's how I look at it. I don't.
Yeah.
It's all fictional anyway, so it doesn't matter.
You take it
whatever
easy.
whatever works for the character. Whatever works for the character.
Okay, yeah.
And does it matter if the character calls the deity a certain name and the deity says that's not my name, but I'll take your allegiance and worship anyway. So you could always allow them to
there's
worship whatever they say. Is the sun god Apollo or is it Pelor? But could it be Apollo if you called him that? Sure.
That's very interesting. Good points, so to speak. There are various cool ways of working around it, and
I kind of
use it.
Don't worry too much about it.
I don't worry about it either, and
I need to learn to not worry so much.
Yeah, the reason I don't is I know for a fact, we all know, Thor and Odin were the first two Greyhawk deities, because they didn't have them made up yet, and they used them.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it. If they did it, there's no reason we can't. So yeah. And the Omen gods, a lot of that stuff, got mixed in with, what the Central American mythologies, right? A lot of that.
Yeah.
So and it's cool. So, all right. What dragon did you want to discuss, Tim?
I thought it was about things from Dragon Magazine used in your campaign.
So what do you got?
Well, it was a special extra table of why should artifacts be the only magic items that have quirks and curses on them, right?
Which number is it?
This is number 34.
Oh, I don't know if I have that one on my machine.
Beware of quirks and curses. So it has quirks, minor curses, and other curses for magic items. So you're worried about that powerful magic item for your player? Just give it a quirk that makes it uncomfortable or unpleasant to use, or
It's a great point. So here's a quick story. When Tim first, and I think it was either you or your dad or Luke, we give out magic items. They put them on index cards.
Mm-hmm.
And the magic item would be on an index card with the abilities. And at the very bottom was the word quirk with like an asterisk and then a colon. And it was blank a lot of times, which means the quirk wasn't revealed.
Right.
Or if there's one, you don't know about it.
You don't know.
Yeah. And I was like, what is this? I was like, So that's how I used to give out magic items back in the day. Yeah.
There's it's just a fun list, because some that turn you green, some make your eyes glow red when you're using it.
It's a good idea.
So, your cloak of invisibility works, except your eyes glow red visibly. That's a problem.
It's a
great. You could always give that one out.
It's a great point and a great idea, man. It's something that can be added fairly easily. I've been giving out. I have a couple with quirks recently, and yeah, absolutely. Especially, I love giving out magical, intelligent weapons with the ego so high that they can overtake character. It's always a good one. So, like, where to sell them exactly? And it's just a good little tidbit. My problem is, in a campaign with 2,000 characters and all the other things going on in 27 different adventuring groups, it's hard for me to keep track of this stuff. My guys have a habit of not writing down what stuff does. I'm like, I give you a magic item with this, and this abilities. Why didn't you didn't write it down? I forgot.
I usually write them down.
You
all
should
the time.
start saying that there will be like a penalty period. You can't earn XP for this session if you don't keep it in order or something like that. Hard saying that. Okay, you have to. There will be a penalty box. You don't get XP until next session.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it was painful.
Mm-hmm.
It's so painful.
But I can't say anything. Sometimes as a DM and player, I forget to put things down there and stuff. So yeah.
A lot of times we're rushing at the end of the night and we're doing treasure division. It's late. Everyone's tired.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to work Friday morning.
That's why I don't hand up treasure ever. So I'll skip that bit. Yeah.
Dragon 71. New Druid spells.
More Caldwell.
Yeah.
Yeah. These dragons are kind of very.
Why do I go here?
Special.
Everyone, does anyone know? Bueller?
Because you have a lot of habits.
Oh, it's more Lakofka or no?
Well,
no,
Druid spells. These spells go into the Articles-Gabbin. These are the Druid spells going.
Okay.
We're getting very close to the Articles-Gabbin now. Some of these are actually clerical, clerical, not druid. Actually, they're mixed, like Moonbeam, Sunray's clerical. That's not druid. But we'll get to it. Mind of the Monster, Bruce Humphrey. It's coming, I promise. Quasi Deities appear in Dragon 71.
There we go.
Oh, look at that. Patrick couldn't resist.
That Heward of the Handy Haversack?
Yes, it is. And Heward's Mystical Organ. So, Land Beyond the Magic Mirrors come out, and he's like, who were Merlin, Keatum, and Heward? And then so Gary just proclaims, they're Quasi Deities. I've named them such forevermore.
And these are explained now after the box set, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So these were additional material to the box set that did make it. So yeah, because they're mentioned in the box set, and they have a little bit of stats, but they don't have a backstory or anything, I think.
Absolutely, Rick Spells. And we went over all the deities in a couple previous Gabbins and Legends and Lores. Yeah, all of Len's, Sewell's, and all that. Absolutely, going through them. But I wanted to talk about this and another one coming up after this one in the future, and explain. It shows you here which ones are inactive characters, NPCs, PCs that are not quasi deities. So he's staying Heward, Keatum, Merland, which is, look at that, it's spelled differently, Merliand here, and then Kellenin are all, Kellen's one step hero deity, one step above at this point. And so we got some specific Greyhawk flavor here.
So is it that quasi deities started as non-deities and became?
Yes. Yes.
Deities started as deities, or they started special somehow?
They started as player characters.
No, the full deities, though, started as
None of the full deities that I'm aware of in Greyhawk started as player characters or anything like that, as far as the full deities go.
Right, like, because, I mean, deities of mythology are usually sprung from something divine or elevated or celestial, or so they never were normal people.
Epic, they call them epic characters. Okay, yeah, they call them epics. So you have your quasi deities here, and please note there's a lot of crossover in game systems. So Merland is a Boot Hill character, and that's why he looks like Clint Eastwood, man with no name, and has guns and technology.
Nothing like a good piece of hickory.
Yeah, yeah, that's the Pale Rider.
Yep, well done.
So, and then here I like this. It says the next example of a quasi deity, take it one step further, demi deityhood. The example Kellenin happens to be which I devised with assistance from Francois Marcella Forteval. That's interesting. And here's Kellenin. Now I use all these, particularly Merlin and Kellenin, because they appear in the slavers, because they're written up and they have abilities and all a lot more. But Kellenin and Merlin are two that actually have player characters worshiping. We don't have anyone doing Keatum or Heward in my game. So,
if you worship Keatum, does he give you some sample ointment?
Yes, but it only cures certain sores. Just kidding.
He just cures.
He was Don K's PC. K loved westerns. Hey, thank you, Les. So Gygax let him journey to the Old West. K co-wrote Boot Hill and died right before it was published. Well, that's great information. I did not know that, Les. Thank you. And Les, thanks a lot for Wednesday night. It was a great show. So, hey, Kafir, you home? Hope you had fun here Thursday. Multiple of my players have already framed their maps and showed them, by the way, in a text. So, thank you. So, quasi deities appear. Okay, specific to Greyhawk in this dragon. There's a lot of other cool things, of course, in here. And look, there's actually a Boot Hill adventure in here. But we're getting into the later issues. I'm just to see if there's anything else special. Yeah, and some of the deities are actually in here as you're going through. Earthnol in the Roll, Ralshaz, Baddies, Wastry. These articles are really good. They got some details in them that get missed in from the Ashes box set and stuff. There's more data here. Always a good thing to have. All right, let me do my last one, and we'll go into some miscellaneous ones. Unfortunately, this person just recently passed. Dragon 79. There's the article we want to do. Let me do the cover. That's Dragon 79.
Must be in April.
Oh, that's good. Oh, what? Because the harvest?
Oh, I was thinking of the bunnies.
November 83.
Oh, November.
Mm-hmm.
April was usually the April Fool's issue. They had a lot of.
I saw a rabbit and I panicked. I was thinking April Fool's.
Scott Benny, who wrote a ton of stuff for great things. Unfortunately, just passed a few months ago. The Dungeon Master's Guide mentions saints, but no system is given for defining sainthood or classifying the precise or capabilities of a saint. Looking at real-world and saint-like characters in mythology and modern epic fantasy, we make the following statements. So, saints, he decides, I'm going to make the saints, and makes 4 of them. I've used 3 of them in my campaign. One very recently, when John from Blue Box was here, we used one. Saint and I have a specialty priest of Saint Bane made up. We used Saint Cyril the Relentless, and we also have Saint Elder the Survivor, and then Kargoth. This is where Saint Kargoth comes from. Now, and we know how popular Kargoth is in Death Knights, but he was the greatest of the Death Knights here. This is not specifically Greyhawk, but of course Gary.
Yet, but yeah.
It becomes Greyhawk.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is the great story here. The origination story of Kargoth is right here. So, notes all from this. Yeah, way out in there, Rick Spells, they have Greyhawk campaign updates by Carl Sargent, which you can't help stealing things, Gary, and I agree. I mean, I love Benedor, I love Bane, I love all of them, and it's just. I say all these saints are, and the saint is a thing of, along with Quasi Deities, is of my Greyhawk. It doesn't have to be of your Greyhawk or out there, but I use them all in my Greyhawk and have adventured. And
I use
what?
Said I use?
I use, yeah. I utilize.
I use, yep.
Mm-hmm. And that's where this comes from, is this article here. And that's as far out as I wanted to go tonight as far as numbers, but we can jump and talk about other great things. Look, Wormy is still around. It's Wormy. It was just such a shame it just stopped. Wormy was awesome. There's an article on Harn.
Yeah, I like some of their products. They're very good, I think.
So we're still in 1983. We're still real early glory era here. Arcana has just hit. And there's an ecology of the tree, and there's a lot of cool things. So you can always find stuff in here, but just note this one doesn't specifically state it's Greyhawk content, but it is for us. So, okay, look at that, 840. So, Tim, Anna, you got any others you can think of, or Tim? We talked about the critical hits and misses original article already too.
I think those that the Elven point of view and the Gnome point of view and those kind of the demi-human point of view articles, exactly, they are fantastic. Yeah,
and they're all Roger Moore.
Yeah, when it comes to early on. Then there was a new, during the Paisahawk era, there were a series that looked at the gods, various gods for third edition that are really, really cool. Yep. You can look into them, and there you have prestige classes and various versions of things, and they are really great to look into.
Let me get it. Tim, how about you?
I actually didn't look it up to find out where it's at. There's one. It's called "How Heavy Is Your Giant?" Actually, an older one, but it goes in. It's a very early one, but it goes into how heavy some of these giant-sized monsters are to put it in pounds, so you have an understanding of it. And they're heavy.
And then they had armor and weapons, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's one here too that's in. This one is June of '79.
Wow. Oh, what's that? What number is that, dude? 20?
Number 12, I think. It
12.
says volume 3. It says volume 3,
No.
number 12. I don't know what that means.
36.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means either. Volume, whatever. That is kind of, you have issues, and I don't know about volumes and stuff. So yeah.
So,
wow.
Volume 3, number 12, June '79. On page 38, there's an article about strength comparison, looking at who has what strengths, and so they lay out the different monsters, and also you can give them bonus damage for them. It's kind of looking past just the generic damage of monsters and how to add more strength. So
that's Dragon 13 and Best of 1. Okay. For the weight piece.
Because in the early editions, the strength was not higher. You couldn't go higher than, was it like 1800 or 19
right.
or something?
It was 1800, but this one goes up quite high.
Yeah. And something they did in third edition and stuff, then you can have dragons and whatnot that had up to 30 or more, maybe even, I don't know, at least up to 30 years they went. So yeah.
And the it also has blueprint for a lich.
Yeah, that's Len Kafka.
Oh,
as it is.
That's also in Best of Dragon Volume 2, I believe. 1 or 2.
So this is the one it's from.
That's the one where all your hair can fall out and nothing can happen when you take the potion. I remember that.
Yeah.
Leonard was great with that stuff.
Yep.
So in Best of Dragon Volume 3, a lot of these are from early Dragon articles. I still use this to this day. We use the set traps ability instead of find and remove traps to set. That's right here. That's in Best of Dragon Volume 3. The Archer, one of our first classes we ever used, was in here too, and that's why I give this away. All the cantrips are in here too. All the points of view of all the races are in here too. A lot of stuff on dragons are in here. It's just a fantastic Best of Dragon. Fantastic. So you get it all right here in that Gods of the Orcs. They missed a couple things. Here's all your gem dragons.
There is in the reverse dungeon a different goblin deity. So there's a goblin deity that's not in the original books.
Yeah, true, Gary, and there are many of those ecology articles. So, yep.
But they also vary a lot in quality. Some of them I think are fantastic. Some of them seems to be hastily written and stuff. But I also love that the ecology articles had first one that was written in character, and then they had another section that was mechanics and stuff from a rules perspective, so to speak.
I have them all, 1 through 5.
Okay.
I have all the best subs. So, yeah. 4 is pretty good. I don't like 5. 4's got a lot of the Len classes in here. Alchemists, Death Masters in here, Cloister Cleric, the Bounty Hunter, which is not my Bounty Hunter. I made my Bounty Hunter up. That's Scott Benny made up his own Bounty Hunter. Scribe and Smith by Ed Greenwood. Duelist, which is Arthur Collins, which we love. Two-Fisted Fighting, the Half Ogre. There's a ton of stuff in this one. 4 is pretty good too. So, yep. Okay, well, yes, kind of. He's not a necromancer at all. He's a death master, which is way worse. Yep. And Leonard said you're never allowed to be a PC of a death master, and that was Leonard. Whenever he came on to discuss it, that's all he'd ever say. You can't have PCs. Don't ask. So, yep. So, Volume 3, number 12. That issue's 26, Tim.
Oh, there you go.
Is that your earliest?
Yes, because the next closest one is there's 34 and then 36.
Okay.
34 had the Divine Right kind of cover.
Wow. That's cool too.
And it has cards you can add to the game, I think. Like a card stock page in here.
Nice.
And it has extra chits you can add for siege engines for the game. We played Divine Right a couple times, right?
Yeah, I love Divine Right. It's played at GaryCon a lot. It's a very popular game. Absolutely. In fact,
I would go around the corner to Walt's house and we played Divine Right occasionally. Yeah, there you go. That's right. And then I also had the Swords and Sorcery tabletop game that had Gygax Dragon Lord on it.
What? Sword and Sorcery?
It's a
the Sword and Sorcery box game. I have it right there too, next to the next to Divine Right.
Yep.
Divine Right's a cool game. There's an emulator for it too. So yeah, all organized and in all the pieces. So hard to get a hold of that still. This is made by TSR back in the '79. This was made. It's cool. It's a really cool game. So it's got a huge cult following. A lot of people play it at GaryCon. In fact, there's a lot of games to sign up for it. So good to see you, Brackert. We do have 2 giveaways tonight. Feel free for your group to sign up. A $25 gift certificate to Frog Out Games, and then your choice of 2 modules, 2 classics. There are reprints, but I got a great pile here. We're talking about really great stuff. Choice of 2 out of here for the second winner. So. Yes, we did. That was the very first thing I did. That's what started the whole discussion, was Gary's article on 37. That's where we started tonight, right at the beginning. So, okay. So we went through a lot, and what I wanted to do with the discussion tonight was just say, take your time if you can, go through some dragons, and just make it. If you're running a campaign, find some data, and don't be afraid to utilize. Don't be afraid to utilize it.
I don't remember the Dragon magazine, but there's one called the Well-Equipped Victim. And for period, medieval style clothing and accoutrements and just the things that people would have with them, because it's like you find a gold bracelet, jewelry, it's a ring, a necklace, there's a lot of variety from the peasants onto the rich, and it's just and it's on table, so it's pretty fast to whip up some unusual NPC, people that have stuff. The Well-Equipped Victim. Cool.
Which dragon is that?
I don't remember. I photocopied it, but I'll find it somewhere. But
that one I'm not sure. Yeah, 105. Rich Longitalis says.
Awesome. Right. See, we have.
Did I get the title right?
Hopefully you did.
Oh, several of them got 105. So, all right, I got it right.
Very cool.
Oh, perfect. Yep.
Sharp as one of those knives back there.
Yeah. I think 106 is the multi-alignment paladin one, which I'm not a fan of.
Oh, yeah, the multiple, yeah.
Anti-paladin's enough.
That's heretical talk right there.
Yes. It's by Ed Greenwood. Okay. The Well-Equipped Adventure.
Still heretical.
Tim, send Longitalis a Discord message, because Tim is in there. They call me Tim. So Longitalis, and he'll send you his dragon index. He's up to number 205. Right. So take a look, find stuff you like. Like I said, to this day, and there's early Dragon magazine articles. Critical hits, we started off very early. Multicolored dragons, the Quasi Deities, saints. Lots of stuff has come from just looking, finding, and then just loving the stuff early on. And it never gets caught on a publication. Don't be afraid to use stuff that's not in a hardback book. It's your game. Use stuff that make, and that's the whole point of the discussion tonight. So. Yeah, I think it's 106 where it talks about it's a lot of stuff on Paladins 106. I think it's that, Curtis. But they all have really goofy special abilities and all, and so that's another story for another time for fandom. We have, and I've done this on a paladin discussion. My paladins are both subclasses of fighter, subclasses of cavalier, and they're completely different classes. They're different type of paladin, and so we have two different types of paladin in our game. That solves that
There's
issue.
the right one and the wrong one. The one from the fighter class is the right one. That's the original. And there's the wrong one, which is the one the cavalier.
And your character's original is a cavalier paladin.
As such, he's hopelessly flawed because of that.
Yes.
But he does what he can.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they're better at jousting. Much better at jousting. That's the one advantage. You'll see that in
the
2
problem
weeks.
with the cavalier ones is the how they look and how they fit in the society. Being upper crust tends to be the problem. That creates the biggest problem with them as paladins.
Yeah, and the humbleness is gone, you mean?
Lack of humility.
Humility, yep, absolutely. Like all the Winchesters.
Yeah, like every last one.
All right. Well, we do some shout outs here and see what's going on. Tim, thanks for hopping on late, man.
Sure.
What's going on with you? What's going on?
We should make another family called the Remingtons.
I have the Rothschilds and I have the Winchesters. Do I need more?
They're all the same, really. The what's going on is either reverse dungeon. I'm running for how many weeks do we have?
It's 2 weeks. That's
2 weeks.
2 weeks from today.
It's getting there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I'll be running that, and it should be a hoot. And unfortunately, I didn't write it. It's already a published module, actually. So
it's okay.
But I did change the name of the tribe.
It's 7 a.m. Saturday. Kicks off day 2.
Yeah. It was the Yargok tribe, but now it's the Yarglok tribe. Because it sounded cooler, obviously. Then I hope to schedule the, and I have to see how it goes, but I'd like to schedule the underdogs for their next. And I know you're in the middle of the month, right? You have something going on the 15th?
Yeah, I have the Slav Squad. So I have something the morning of the 8th now with a living gray, an extra living Greyhawk, Legends of the Lore, and then the night of the 15th is the Slavs. Yep.
Dang. So I was probably the third weekend, maybe.
And here's the schedule for day 2 of Virtual GradCon Reverse Dungeon Tim starting at 7 a.m. And then here's all the streams going on that day. So
yes, should be hysterical. Hopefully, I already had one of the players opt to be one of the warriors because that's the only way to become chief. So he's already got eyes out to become the head goblin in charge. So it's going to be pretty interesting. A Canadian just said a third weekend works for him. So I'll try to.
Morning of the third weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I can produce it.
Good work.
That day. It shouldn't be a problem. All right. So Tim will be hitting up starting off day 3. This is all Eastern times, everyone.
Yeah. And I'll have my special reverse dungeon attire on.
Oh, nice. Good to hear. We will talk about this more on next week's Gabbin, by the way, too, where we're going to have an open every single DM that's highlighted stream has been invited. Almost all of them have said yes. They'll be on at some point during the 2 hours, in and out. We'll have a lot of guests in and out, just talking about what's going on, getting some hype going for Virtual GradCon 3. We do that Prelude show every year, and it goes over real well. So, and that is that'll be a blast. So. Tim, thank you.
Thank you.
Anna.
It's not much news from Friday. I'm going to send out an invitation to session 0 next Sunday to the players that will be on my game. and so we can go over the character. And during the week, I will send out the character, the pre-gen characters, so they can pick what they want to play. So that's the big thing. And then it's just getting things ready for the convention. So there will be some, when I do things for my seminar, that will be for my top tier patrons will get the seminar slides and some notes and stuff on the seminars before the seminar comes out. So that will trickle out as I get it done, so to speak. So that will be some background stuff coming there. And then it's ramping up for running my first streamed game ever, so to speak. So it's making maps and making proper stat blocks and more backstories and put things down and stuff like that. So I'm over prepping like crazy. And I also want to thank everybody because I have 400 patrons for the first time. Officially have 400 patrons.
Nice.
So thank you so much. I got a whole bunch coming in a couple of days ago and so on. So yes, there is a lot of content coming, but right now during the convention, I'm going to hold back on some of it, but it is coming. So yep. So it's awesome. So thank you so much for everyone who makes it possible. And there is also been asked for a heraldry index. And yes, that will be part of the compendium. We'll put together a heraldry index so I can put together, so I can see what holes to fill. And I'm working on the elven holes and the humanoid, more orcish and stuff, humanoid heraldry and more elven heraldry at first. So those will be the first one to fill. But we'll see. After the virtual Greyhawk is done, then I will start looking into the heraldry compendium. That is the next really big project, so to speak. And I have to ask Dwayne if he Dwayne Costa if he's in on doing a index for a 598 atlas.
Ooh.
And if he is, then we can put that out because the files, the rest of it is not that much work, so to speak, to put them into pieces. That is, now I did it for the 576 map, so I can repeat that for the 598 map, not too much. It's the index that is a hell of a lot of work, so to speak, to do that. So I'll ask him humbly and see if he is willing to take on that task. Then we can do a 598 atlas version of that too this fall. So those are the big projects, and then there's the little ones are heraldry and a bunch of others, so to speak, and the Shieldlands stuff for my campaign and so on. So yeah, so right now there is a dry spell because I'm working on getting it done for the convention. So yeah, but that was the quick version of it. So yeah.
So, what was I going to say here? Sorry about that. I'm multitasking way too much here, and I shouldn't be. What's going on next week? My brain just shut off. All right.
Oh, forgot. Yeah, exactly. Matthews, I will be on the next episode of Greycast. So
Greycast,
thank you, Matthews, for pointing that out. That was awesome fun to record that. That comes out Monday. Must be next Monday, not tomorrow, but next Monday, I think. Yeah.
So 3 streams next week. We'll be back to 3 for 1 week because the week after is going to be crazy, right? Exclamation drawing BB. Wednesday night, it'll just be Anna and me as Mike is off, unless we get another guest in. We're going to do the Horn Society, which is one of the reasons why that article is so important. But we'll throw out some stuff that's going on, past, present, future, alternate reality, whatever. We'll talk about the Horn Society. Yeah. How it fits into my campaign, how it fits into Anna's, how it could fit into yours, and that'll be on Legends and Lore. That'll be Wednesday night. Yep. Be a good one.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yes. Yep. The true bad guys that should have been running all over everyone, not IUs.
Right. Well,
they had their time, and I have a tweak to that. There's a twist to that in my campaign.
Thursday night, 2 weeks long. This will be the last adventure before the Grand Joust. So the first you look Pathfinders in Shock Troops. Back into the Pomarge. Back to Strandkeep Castle.
Ooh.
Again, the ruins of Strandkeep Castle.
Oh, it's ruined in your campaign?
Yeah, well, remember I have that huge big thing that's in, it's absolutely. It's been attacked and fought over so many times. But yes, here's the storyline is as simple. Finder, the great scout, has come back saying that, they've been, the Watchers Towers have been putting a garrison at Strain Keep from the last time. The garrison has now been overrun, defeated, and killed with these special shock troops have come from somewhere, the Pomars that are highly elite. And what are the First Look Pathfinders, the bloodied brethren, going to do about it? So we'll see. I actually was working on the terrain today. It, of course, looks really cool, and that'll be what's coming up in the next 2 weeks on Thursday nights. It's an Infinite Dimensions game sponsored giveaway night. That's Thursday.
Here's the advantage for the players. Shock troops, while very useful and good, are not great for sustained operations.
True.
They have a lot of rest up, planning, prep. They go in, they shock, whatever, and then they retreat back to rest. They don't have to do the grind. So hopefully that will mess them up. Hopefully.
But then again, these are my players we're talking about. Just kidding. So. Yeah, that'll be next 2 weeks. So, and then it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. Woo! It's my wife's birthday weekend. If I stream on a Friday or Saturday night or Saturday, I'll get my ass kicked this time. So I know better. So I'm off this upcoming weekend. And here is our Virtual GradCon Prelude show coming up next week. More guests. So we're going to have confirmed Rob Phantom, Phoenix Iwaki, Bipolar Dice Roller, Praetor's Rejects, and many others have already confirmed for coming on, talking about their stream. Mike Disney, we're going to have a lot of people come and just hype up. And I'm also going to talk about, see where we are with a week to go, and see. Yes, you understand, Curtis. Sometimes you got to put the family, especially the wife, first. Yes, sometimes you need to do that. It's a survival skill, exactly. So the Prelude show will be next Sunday, and then we got a lot of stuff. Virtual GradCon, we got a ton of content, multiple streams, multiple things going on, but we'll get there at the end of next week. So a nice short 3-stream week for me this week coming up. And then this is set for Saturday, October 15th, the next special game night, the Slav Squad and Prophecy of ... I don't know what that means. Well, maybe I do, and I just don't want to tell you. So think Halloween.
I'm sure that's the case.
It's got a Halloween flavor to it.
Oh, it's the Great Pumpkin.
Ooh, well, not the Great Pumpkin. You're close.
I know.
Yes.
I didn't want to
so that'll be Adventure 975, and I haven't gotten a special guest finalized yet. I'm working on it. So
is it the Great Pumpkin's boss?
Yes, you got it. Something like that. Absolutely. If you all know what the Great Pumpkin miniature is, no, it's you got to think of what we have miniature wise. Mike must be asleep.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep, exactly. I only do that 4 or 5 times at an adventure. So thank you all. Another great discussion. Thank you. Yep, a lot of people have that picture on their wall. Thank you, Tim, for coming on. Thank you, Anna, for a great discussion. Thank you, audience. Thank you for a monster hype train. Let's do the 2 giveaways. We'll find someone in the raid into. I know Darling's on tonight. I also know that our friends at Tabletop Notch had a flood in New York City, in Brooklyn, and their studios flooded out, and they didn't stream either tonight. I'll find someone though. Yep. Well, thanks. And let's do these giveaways. Set this up. Last call. Exclamation point drawing if you're not in. A Frog God gift certificate and your choice of 2 adventures. One of the 2. We'll have 2 winners here. All right. Spelled drawing wrong, Mark. Give me one more time. One more chance. You got to spell it right. I thought you were in, but maybe not. Lots of users in tonight. This is awesome. Okay. The winner. There you go. God Yin. Perfect.
The winner and champion.
491 Fandom. You tell me if you want the 2 adventures or the $25 gift certificate to Fog Out Games, and then the second winner will get. You just let me know real quick here. 491. You tell me, and I will get them to you. The second winner is 2. All right, I'll pick Ashir Ryako. That's a first. That's a first-time winner, but I don't see them in chat at all. Oh, we'll give him 15 seconds, but I don't see him in chat. I think we're going to be pulling another person. Got to be on the claim. Nope. He's not. The person's not on. I don't see him. So we go to the second winner. Next winner. Wandering Endlessly. Oh, he's on. Congrats. I will get you that code right over to you. And thank you all for a great stream. Let me see who we're going to read into.
Yeah.
Wandering Endlessly.
Yeah, it's a good name. I'm looking to see here. What's Tabletop Misfits doing? Let me take a look real quick here. Just make sure they're not doing, it says Dungeons and Dragons, not doing video games. It looks like they're playing a game at least. We'll do, yeah, looks, and they got like a VTT up and all.
Do they look like Misfits?
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's what their names
That's what we'll do. We'll do Tabletop Misfits. Okay, we'll hit them. So thank you, everyone. Hopefully you enjoy your night, and go Eagles tomorrow night, everyone. Monday Night Football, of course. So you didn't hear me whining about the Cowboys actually winning today. It's not a big deal, but that's light. All right, Anna and Tim, thanks a lot. We'll see you shortly. See you soon.
Good seeing you.
Thank you, everyone.
And everyone have a good night, and see you Wednesday night. I head back to work. I hate it, but someone's got to do it, right, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Thank you. We're over 100 people on. That's fantastic. Let's set this rate up. Dum, 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 dum. See if we can get like 75 plus. That'd be awesome. There we go. 84, 86. Nice. All right, we'll see everyone on Wednesday night. Have a good one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya. Make sure this worked.
Yeah, it worked.
I don't have. I didn't. It's weird for me. It didn't. Like it said the video.